Hello everyone. Now I'm going to teach you how to determine the end behavior given a polynomial. Alright, there's two things you have to focus on. The leading coefficient and highest degree of the polynomial. If you look on the left side of this board, I drew the four possible ways that your polynomial could be graphed if the leading coefficient was positive or negative, and if the highest degree was even or odd. Alright, look on the right side. If you remember, your quadrants are numbered first, second, third, fourth, the way I drew it. And in your first quadrant, all of your x values are positive, and all your y values are positive. So if your end behavior ended in that first quadrant, the arrow indicates that it continuously goes on to infinity. So the way you'll write the end behavior, if it ended in the first quadrant, would be as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches positive infinity. Because regardless of what the x and y values are, they're both going to be positive. All right, looking in the second quadrant. Your x values are negative and your y values are positive. So the way you'll write your end behavior here is as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. In your third quadrant, your x values are negative and your y values are negative. So the way you write your end behavior here is as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches negative infinity. In your fourth quadrant, your x values are positive and your y values are negative. So the way you write your end behavior here is as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. All right, so let's look at the first example. In this first polynomial, my highest degree is 4, which is an even number. My leading coefficient is 2, which is positive. So therefore, this polynomial will have a positive even graph, which looks like this. The ends of this graph are in the first and second quadrant. So therefore, I'm going to write the end behaviors in the first and second quadrant. Starting from the left side, as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. And on the right side, which is quadrant 1, as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches positive infinity. And that's my end behavior for the first polynomial. All right, let's look at the second example. My highest degree here is 3, which is odd, and my leading coefficient is negative 6, which is negative. So therefore, this polynomial will have a negative odd graph, which looks like this. End behavior is in the second and fourth quadrant. So therefore, I'll write the end behavior that's in the second and fourth quadrant. All right, starting on the left side, as x approaches negative infinity, y approaches positive infinity. And on the right side, which is the fourth quadrant, as x approaches positive infinity, y approaches negative infinity. And that's how you write the end behavior of a polynomial.